With the season around the corner and a lot of people still talking about some of these rookies in the last draft class, there's going to be a lot of hype and talk about some of these prospects making their debuts, and rightfully so. The 2017 NBA draft class has the potential of being one of the greatest in NBA history. You have certain prospects that fell within the top 10, such as Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox, and so on and so forth, that shows a lot of potential and put them in the right system, which I believe a lot of them are in the right system. They should be able to shine sooner than later, and I would make an argument that some of these players might be able to impress us within the first couple of months of their rookie season. And even outside of the top 10, you have certain players such as Donovan Mitchell and John Collins who shows a lot of potential. But with that being said, there still is a rookie I feel like a lot of people are casually looking over. And quite honestly, I can't blame you, because due to an injury, he missed his entire rookie season last year. And the player that I'm referring to, and I'm pretty sure you are aware of it now, is the 6'10 forward who plays for the 76ers, and Ben Simmons. In my humble opinion, I do believe that Ben Simmons will go on to win Rookie of the Year this season, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. Because winning Rookie of the Year, quite honestly, I don't really think it's that impressive of a feat, especially because a lot of these players enter the NBA as a teenager, and it takes them several years to get to the point where they need to be in their development. But when it comes to Simmons, and the reason why I want to make this video is not just because of the Rookie of the Year, but because I actually believe that Ben Simmons will go on to have one of the greatest rookie seasons that we've been able to witness over the last 20 years. And if he plays his cards right, there's a possibility that Ben Simmons could potentially be one of the greatest players in the NBA within the next 5 years. Now, why do I say that, you may be asking? Well, it's because of several reasons, and quite honestly, I don't even know where to begin. But I guess a good place to start when it comes to analyzing some of these younger players is showing you how physically impressive these players are. And when it comes to Ben Simmons, he is an anomaly. Ben Simmons is listed at 6'10", however, there's multiple sources and accounts claiming that he's grown over the last several months up to 7 feet tall. Now, if you are skeptical of this, I thoroughly understand, especially when his head coach came out and clearly stated he's not a 7-footer. However, if there is one thing that is completely clear, he is at least 6'10". You can see him standing next to NBA players such as LeBron James, and as you clearly can see, LeBron is definitely shorter than Ben Simmons. And even though, yes, LeBron is listed at 6'8", there's multiple people, including his own teammate Richard Jefferson, who's claimed that LeBron is more so 6'9". So if there is a definite gap between height that seems like it's more than just 1 inch between LeBron and Ben Simmons, I'm more inclined to believe that Ben Simmons has grown at least 1 more inch since the last time he's been measured. But even if he isn't grown at all, still standing at 6'10" gives him a massive advantage amongst other players. When you look at his immediate competition at the small forward position, you have certain players such as Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and again LeBron, who are definitely going to be shorter than him. And then when it comes to other players on the court, he still should have a massive advantage because you have multiple teams in today's NBA who like to implement small ball. So right out the gate, Simmons is already put in the class of Giannis and Kevin Durant, the ridiculously tall forwards who more than likely should be playing power forward, but because of their skill set, they can play on the perimeter. But the one thing that separates a player such as Giannis or Kevin Durant from Ben Simmons is the fact that Simmons at a very, very early age has already perfected the ability to gain and lose weight pretty rapidly. When it comes to a player such as Giannis, Kevin Durant, and even Brandon Ingram, it's extremely clear that they've struggled within their first several seasons in the NBA to add on weight. There's multiple stories of how Brandon Ingram is on a ridiculous carb diet and he's basically just intaking whatever he needs to intake to gain weight. Then you have the embarrassing story of Kevin Durant struggling at the bench press. And then you look at a player such as Giannis, which I am happy for him that he's been able to add weight and muscle to his frame, but look how long it took him from his rookie year where he weighed under 200 pounds until now where he weighs roughly around 230. It took him 4 years to be able to put on the weight that allowed him to compete at an elite level, in which he was able to do this last season. However, when it comes to Ben Simmons, there's multiple accounts claiming that he's been able to lose and gain 20 to 30 pounds within a span of a few months, which is extremely impressive. Now again, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who are extremely skeptical of this. However, due to him being out for an entire season, it's not that hard to believe that Ben Simmons is weighing roughly around 250 pounds these days. And on top of the fact he has a 7-foot wingspan, which could rival Kevin Durant, Giannis's, and LeBron's. And oh yes, let's not forget that his max vert is is 41.5 inches, and just in case people are unaware how high that is, it's not as much as LeBron's because, you know, that's a bit crazy, but Shawn Kemp's max vert was 41 inches and Dominique Wilkins' max vert was 42. So we are referring to a prospect who is as tall as Giannis, has the same frame that LeBron had roughly around the same age, has a wingspan that is comparable to Kevin Durant, and has a max vert that could rival some of the greatest dunkers and athletes that we ever seen in the NBA in Shawn Kemp and Dominique Wilkins. Yes, Ben Simmons is an anomaly, but that's not even the most impressive part about his game, because once you take that all into consideration along with his skill set, that's when it really starts to settle in that Ben Simmons is extremely special. When it comes to Ben Simmons' scoring ability, he's extremely fluid and comfortable when it comes to attacking the rim. He has a very, very solid footwork game already, regardless if it's setting up for a shot or in the post area. And speaking of posts, I'm actually quite surprised he feels extremely comfortable taking a hook shot, which is something you obviously don't see in today's NBA, so kudos to him. And then when it comes to his ability to dominate on the defensive end, it's quite astonishing. Obviously, he's a solid rim protector at 6'10 with a 7-foot wingspan. His anticipation on the perimeter shows a lot of promise. He's quick enough to switch off a pick and roll, but still big enough to bang down low with some of the bigger players. And then when it comes to his passing abilities, my goodness, it is on a whole nother level. I would make an argument that Ben Simmons' passing abilities right now is comparable to Lonzo Ball. He has touch passes, bounce passes, chest passes, behind the back passes. But the one thing that is extremely impressive about Ben Simmons, and the reason why I compared him to Lonzo Ball when it comes to his passing ability, is his timing. Everything that he does is timed almost perfectly. When it comes to his ability to penetrate through the lane and find the open man, again, everything is timed accordingly. He takes just enough dribbles and penetrates deep enough in the lane to draw the double team, to dump it off to an open man or pass it out to an open three. Then when it comes to his no-look passes, there's multiple times, especially on a fast break, where he's intelligent enough to look off a defender and give a player the ball, again, in the right time. But what's even more impressive is his ability to pass the ball in a half-court setting, even when the offense starts to become a bit stagnant. Because regardless if he's out of the post or standing at the top of the key, Ben Simmons feels extremely comfortable with casually passing the ball through traffic to a cutting man. And again, that's extremely impressive because not only is there timing, but you also have to understand that he has to pass it ahead of the player who's cutting so they not only can catch the ball, which leads into the layup, but also catch the ball that leads into a layup that is hard to contest by other defenders. Now, after hearing all that, unless you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, a lot of people are going to be a little bit negative and say, pump the brakes a little bit because he isn't a great shooter. And don't get me wrong, he definitely could work in that direction, becoming a better shooter, but I will say this. When it comes to Ben Simmons, and I've looked at his play for the last several months now, he's not as bad as a shooter as people make him out to be. He just has to work on some minor mechanics, especially when it comes to his release point and his timing. But with all that being said, it actually leads into why exactly I believe he will have a phenomenal rookie season. Because like I said early in this video, he's been out for the entire season. And through his time being out, not only has he been able to rehab on his leg and get back to 100%, but also he's been working on his game. So I actually do believe he'll be a much more consistent threat from shooting the ball than I think a lot of people are giving him credit for. But if all else fails, who really cares? Ben Simmons is a 6'10 to 7-foot forward who can handle the ball, initiate an offense, run the fast break. So if he really wanted to, he could just drive in the lane the same way that Giannis does and has perfected over the last 2 to 3 years and just dominate the game in that manner. And with there still being some major issues in my opinion when it comes to Joel Embiid and his inability to stay healthy, and after looking at Markelle Fultz, especially in the Summer League, there's a lot of things I really don't think are going to be able to translate so easily to the NBA level. I honestly believe when it comes to Ben Simmons, they're more than likely going to have to run the offense through him. I honestly believe there's enough weapons around Ben Simmons for him to take advantage of the opportunity that will be given to him in this next upcoming season, which is why I'm predicting that Ben Simmons will have a phenomenal rookie season because of his physical attributes, his skill sets, and the opportunity that the Philadelphia 76ers are willing to give to him. But with that being said, people, let me know what you think about Ben Simmons or any other rookie in the comment section below. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button for all the NBA content that I will be uploading on this channel, because sooner than later I will be starting on my big NBA project in the next week or so. But with all that being said, people, I will see you all later. Peace.